Hello and welcome to another episode of the Screen Chronicles. I'm Steve. With me as always is Cobestone, but now with a little bit of bacon. How are you doing today, Colby?
Oh, I'm really good, and I wish I had a little bit of bacon.
Just a little bit of bacon.
Yeah, so if I had a little bit of bacon, it'd be that much better. But I'm pretty excited today because we have a new topic to discuss. Today we are talking about The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 1. We're going to review it. We're going to break it down a little bit, give you our thoughts. But overall, maybe we should just talk about what we thought of the first episode, spoiler-free, real quick.
Yeah, real brief, probably less than a minute, guys. We're going to give you non-spoiler thoughts on it. Then we're going to go into our spoiler talk. And we're going to tell you our favorite moments. We'll give you a little recap, tell you what we thought about it, too. So make sure you stay tuned. And also, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe. That helps the algorithm out. Ring the bell, too. But you can just make your phone notifications silent. So it's not bothering you during the day, man. You know what I mean? Like, you got to live your real life. Or if you're on podcasts, make sure you sign up for those automatic downloads.
And let us know what you think, too. Or let us know your thoughts on it. We'd love to hear people's theories, and it makes us think more.
But generally, this episode, I enjoyed it. I can tell you I was very pleasantly surprised. Watching the trailer, I was really thinking, all right, here we go. We're going back to like the Thor Ragnarok sort of Marvel humor where everything's like a comedy now. This is going to be like a buddy cop comedy movie or show. I can tell you it wasn't. To me, it felt like it had the same sort of tone, a lot of the same themes and messages that like the movie The Winter Soldier had, which is one of my favorite, if not my favorite.
Yeah,
it's my favorite standalone Marvel movie, hands down. My favorite standalone. Yeah. That's my favorite. And they carried that, and they really did justice briefly here. Just in the brief episode, I thought they did justice to characters and thoughts, some things that I was worried about. So I enjoyed it. Not a lot of crazy stuff happened, but I think it was a good first episode.
Yeah, I agree. I think it definitely, I enjoyed it enough to keep my interest. And obviously with Winter Soldier, who was one of my favorite characters in Marvel since the Captain America Winter Soldier movie, that it's going to keep my interest anyway. But I think overall the episode was a solid episode. Nothing super mind-blowing, but enough to pique my interest. Like I mentioned to you, Steve, it wasn't like anything that like is like really killing me to wait a week right away. Yeah, but it was good. It was really good, and there's a couple things I really enjoyed in it, and I'm excited to talk about it. So let's jump into the spoiler talk. You have been warned.
Spoiler alert for, I don't know if
crap out of it right now.
Season 1. I don't know if we're gonna get another season.
Yeah, we don't know yet, but
first episode of the Falcon Winter Soldier, and we'll probably give some spoilers too for any of the other Marvel stuff that's happened before. We'll stay away from WandaVision stuff, but we're definitely gonna hit on Winter Soldier and all the Captain America movies, and probably Endgame, Infinity War stuff too. So
definitely,
you have been warned. Brief overview of this episode is, Falcon and Bucky are both sort of figuring out their real life problems here now that Cap is left, and at the end too, we get this big reveal that the government is replacing Cap. So that was sort of the big twist, but otherwise it was a pretty. You could argue it's a slow episode. I'm glad it was like this, though.
Yeah.
I liked it like this because I liked that it's taking itself seriously. It's not just like a buddy cop comedy, like a Hobbs and Shaw thing.
It dug deep into each character. It was a lot of setup individually for both Falcon and for Bucky. And it starts with Falcon. With Anthony Mackie reprising the role, and I think the first scene he's ironing a shirt.
Yeah,
and he hears Cap's voice from Endgame.
Yeah,
talking about the shield, and you hear Anthony Mackie. Why am I blanking on his name in the show?
I can't think of his name. Is he
Sam? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sam.
And you hear Sam's voice saying, I don't feel like this. I feel like this belongs to someone else.
Cap's like, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
And I tell you what, when I first saw the movie and that kind of happened, I was just like, but like Bucky, you know.
Yeah.
But now I think we had talked about it some other episode. Oh,
Yeah.
it was the episode where we talked about our thoughts on the trailer. If you haven't seen that, make sure you listen, watch that. But that's I do since then though. I have come around. Now that I've watched it a second time, I've looked at the more nuanced stuff between Bucky and Cap before like he goes back in time. I think it was just for the sake of time in the movie. They didn't show that the two of them talked and said, "Hey, look, like, love you, man. You know, I do whatever for you."
Right.
But I'm going back in time, and like you have been scrambled repeatedly in the brain here, and like also you're gonna have PTSD after this too. So you're probably not the best guy to have this. Like,
and not only that, but the public image. Can you really give it? Can you even give it to him? Because I mean, he was a war criminal and a fugitive, and
that too.
You know what I mean? So,
and Sam's a loyal dude. I mean, we talk about our other shows, you know, like The Last Kingdom, and
he's always been loyal.
He's the bro. He's the best bro.
He is a bro. He's a bro.
He's a little understated because Cap has usually his motivations are things for Bucky in the last two Cap movies, but
and Bucky's a bro too when he's not brainwashed.
He's not a brainwashed. He's a bro. So I thought that was cool. But here, like, you can still see Sam's though is pretty reluctant though with this, and later on, he
doesn't feel like he can carry that. He doesn't feel like he can fill that mantle.
Yeah.
I mean, he decides like,
who could though?
Right. So he has the shield, and by the way, this shield has to be the one from whatever multiverse Cap came back from, because Thanos destroyed Cap's shield.
That's right. The one that
Thanos
Tony gave him back.
Sucker.
He destroyed that.
So apparently, I guess if you do a side by side, there's a little bit of differences between Cap's original shield and the one that he gives Sam.
Yeah, there's not that blemish on it, that like silver, like where the paint is sort of blemished away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can see the underside of the vibranium. I think is like one thing I've noticed. I was like, it looks a little cleaner than the original one.
It does. It looks brand spanking new. And so Sam decides, you know, I'm going to give this to, he's at the Smithsonian in DC, and I'm going to put it in. Cap already has like a pretty awesome exhibit. We saw it back when
Winter Soldier,
in Winter Soldier, at the end of Winter Soldier, when Bucky is looking at it to learn more about himself again.
Yeah.
And Cap. But
when he was like, when Cap was taking a tour too.
And they've shown it several times. So that shows Anthony Mackie handing it over, and the guy at the museum is like, I think you're making the right choice with this, Sam. I think you're doing the right thing.
And I think that was a government guy too.
Remember that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember that guy.
Remember that guy for later.
Can we just talk about it now? Because
we can.
This ticks me off. And it's like what you said, like he didn't feel like he was worthy of the mantle, right? And so he put it away. But the thing is with that though, it's not just because he didn't think he was worthy. It's like he thought no one is worthy to replace this guy.
Right.
And the next thing it's not till the end of the episode here.
That's how the episode ends, actually.
Yeah. He's sitting with his sister. Actually comes in the room. We're introduced to her. We'll cover that here, but she comes in and says, "Hey, look at this," and they're bringing on a new Captain America, the government issued Captain America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you
with
can
the
just
shield.
Yeah, with the shield, the one that like put it in the exhibit. That's the right choice.
Yeah. And there had been themes up until this point, especially with like Don Cheadle's character, War Machine, you know, discussing like, you know, like, why didn't you take this mantle? I mean, like, you know, you're true and everything. And I think, you know, Sam is battling with that a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, he doesn't think anybody's worthy of that mantle.
Yeah. And you can see it on his face when he sees this other guy stepping down.
Yeah,
like
he realizes he made a mistake.
Well, he's not just like realizing he's a mistake. He's just like, no, like, I gave it so no one would be Captain America, not some random G-man.
Yeah,
you know?
And the guy who introduced that new Captain America was the same guy at the beginning who told Sam, "You're making a good choice. You're doing the right thing here." You know, it's
what
like a scheme in
butthole.
this. He was scheming this. So the question is, who is this guy in the suit? Is he just an actor to be a symbol, or is he something more than that? We'll find out. He looks he looks so weird in the suit.
I know he looks so dorky. They zoomed in. No offense to the guy playing
I
it,
know.
but and now but it looked kind of weird with the ears out now. And I was like, the
Maybe
ears.
it's just that guy's ears.
Yeah. I mean, no offense to your ears, but a helmet's
Oh.
going to make them look weird, right? If it's got
he
ear
had a
holes.
gun on his belt too.
Oh, he did? Did not notice that.
Yeah, he had a little gun on his belt. So
Well, Cap used a gun too, back when he was in the World War, though.
back in the World War. So he did back then.
And Sam used guns too in Civil War.
Sam uses guns. So anyway, we are going to find out more about this new Captain America, and who he really is.
Yeah, I've got some theories here too. Here. Well,
Okay.
All
right. We'll talk at the end about some theories. So anyway, back to tracing it way back to the beginning. Sam, it cuts to Sam on a mission. And so somebody had gotten captured by this like French team. They at least speak French. We don't know if they're from France. So it was a captain in the military, and there's Sam's being debriefed. He's like, we don't want to have a lot of U.S. thumbprint on this. So Sam's like, yeah, I got this. And we get to see Falcon here. He like jumps out of the plane.
Very like reminiscent too, again, of we're talking. There's a lot of similar themes between this and Captain America: Winter Soldier, and this scene to me was kind of reminiscent when he jumps out, like just.
Yeah.
But I mean, he opens up. He has wings, right? But like in the movie, Cap jumps out without a parachute. And like, was he wearing a parachute? I don't know. It just kind of made me think of that, though.
Totally. And I'm sure those kind of things are intentional. I mean, Marvel, they pay so much attention to those little details. And so Sam's going. By the way, we get to meet this Red Wing thing. Have we met him before? Red Wing?
He was There was Red Wing in Civil War. Just briefly, I think he like shot the bad guys and helped Black Widow out when they were like chasing Crossbones henchmen.
Oh, okay. So we get a closer look at Red Wing here, and it's totally like reminds me of a Star Wars droid, which is super cool.
He beeps now, I think.
He beeps back at him, and like it's like he's got a little mind of his own, and he's talking to him like he's alive, And
I guess for the comics, he is like a real bird. Is what I guess the superhero is like a real falcon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, this little thing is pretty awesome, and he flies into the one ship, the one plane, and you see like the U.S. military on the ground, like following him, and we meet this guy named Torres who is communicating with Sam, this young officer, this young, I don't know, lieutenant. I guess.
Yeah.
And Sam goes in there and just starts kicking butt.
He just drops it. And we see too that George St. Pierre's character, who Cap fought back in Winter Soldier, is the guy who's leading these mercenaries here.
Yeah.
He was, a UFC fighter too in real life.
Cool.
So it's cool to see his character again too, because he's pretty badass when him and Cap squared up and fought.
Yeah. So he has the super serum.
I don't know if he has a super soldier serum or not. That's why, like, when they first saw them fighting,
because he kicked Sam like real hard, harder than you'd be able to humanly possible. I think.
Well, I thought Sam was even moving a little like superhero-ish, like more in this one too. So I don't know if they were like just doing that so he could have a cool fight scene. Yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't, but because
either way,
there are
this
some
guy's
things
tough.
going on. Yeah,
either way, this guy's tough. And I think, Falcon demonstrates some really cool stuff he can do with his wings. He like does a quick shield real quick.
Yeah, this whole action scene with him is like the best with him, I think, that I've seen so far.
I think they had to establish that because he hasn't had like a lot of time to shine yet.
No. He's definitely been cool, but he's been pretty much just like the guy who flies.
Yeah.
In the other movies. But now like it's much more dynamic. He's like flying in and out of the helicopters and stuff, ducking. I really love the end, when he flies through, he kicks a dude, and then the missiles come and hit that chopper. It was so kinetic and just so well done. The action in this was so badass.
And these guys, that jump out of this plane. They have these like flying squirrel suits.
Yeah, the flying squirrel suits.
They're pretty sweet, and he's chasing them down, and he's using Red Wing to like blow up a couple ships, and
It's
pretty
so
awesome.
kinetic. There's a couple like very like close-ups where I was like, that kind of looks a little CG-ish to me, but most of it looks pretty good, and like some of it looks like they had real skydivers.
Totally. And then when they were going through that gorge, like, I totally was like, this is so awesome. Like cinematically, like,
yeah,
it's a movie quality again, where all these Disney Plus shows, Mandalorian, WandaVision, are like, just, they're not holding back on the budget. I mean,
well, I think there's going to be 7 episodes of this is what I think I've heard. So, I mean, if you think about it too, like they're all under an hour, like 30 minutes to 40 minutes, most of these episodes.
Yeah.
So it's just like a really long movie. It's like a Zack Snyder cut version or something.
Pretty much.
And again, too, the action feels kind of like how it does in like how the Russos sort of established with Captain America and the Winter Soldier. It's just like everything you want to see. Like when I was a kid and I wanted to see a superhero movie, like why don't they get a helicopter and they put a guy in it and they kick him out? Like that's what the movie The Winter Soldier to me was too. That's why I loved that movie when I first saw it. That's what this felt like to me too. I was just like these are people like when they were kids, they wanted an awesome superhero movie.
Totally.
This is what's happening. We're getting it.
And I kept thinking at this point in the show, I'm thinking like, okay, we're seeing a lot of cool Falcon stuff. When is Winter Soldier coming in? How is he going to be introduced here? I'm thinking like, are they already working together, or I even thought for a second when we saw the guy getting like beat up in the plane, I was like, is this Captain actually like Bucky like held captive or something? I was like wondering, but obviously it wasn't. I was like, and he's saving him already, but no, it's kind of separate storylines at this point.
Yeah.
So he saves him, and I don't remember when it happens, but I want to talk about it now. Goddamn.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Falcon kind of saves the day there, and actually it might cut to him eating and working on Red Wing.
Yeah,
with Torres, and like Torres is at a cafe, and Torres is like buddy with him, and Sam's enjoying the talking to him, and it's
cool too because he's asking about like Captain America because we see in Homecoming, or not Homecoming, Far From Home. Actually, I just watched that recently too. Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Good movie.
The opening makes you think that Captain America and Iron Man died. Is like what the public think is that Cap is dead, but Torres was like, is he on the moon though? You know, he's already like he's like going into like a Joe Rogan level conspiracy stuff going on here.
Yeah.
You know, is he on the moon, man?
Sam like shuts that down like super quick.
Yeah,
you know, and yeah, because it's not common knowledge, you know, what Cap did,
and it would be hard for people to even understand. Like,
understand that
he went back in time to a different timeline, and then he lived out his life.
It's not time travel. He went to a different time. So anyway, he's in, and Sam says something about like, I'm not letting you guys work on Red Wing again. Last time you guys touched him, he got all wacky or something. Again, personifying this thing.
Yeah.
But Sam's trying to fix him up.
It's like a droid.
Damaged.
It's like R2, how he
droid,
is.
which I love. Droid. It's always cool when you have a little droid sidekick. So it's pretty cool. I like that. I'm excited to see more of that. Torres is like video. He's like everything. He's like documenting on his phone. He's just taking like, I don't know if he's live streaming or just videotaping everything. Sam can speak Arabic very well. And he like even asked him about that. Like, well, you speak Arabic, Torres? And so it's interesting.
Well, Sam was in the military though, right? Before he met Cap.
Exactly.
So that's probably where I figured he got it from.
Sam's pretty cool here. He's like friendly, but he's also kind of stoic, kind of a little mysterious still. Yeah. So
he is
this
kind
is
of
giving
Captain
me a
America-ish. You know?
Yeah, definitely a stand-up dude. It's giving me a chance to get to know him better, because I think in the movies he's pretty cool in the movies, but you don't really get a chance to like digest his character and get to know him in a deeper level. And they're really starting to do that on this show.
He's kind of just part of the plot in the other movies.
Yeah,
I mean, you see him when he's like running the veterans sort of like mental health sort of group that he was in Winter Soldier. But other than that, you really didn't get to know much about him though.
Yeah, I am just chomping on the bit to talk about the scene that I did not know I needed. So like I didn't know when we were going to see Winter Soldier, how he was going to be introduced, but I did not expect it to be like this. It cuts to like a young guy of Asian descent, it looks like, coming out of a, it's just important to note, coming out of some fancy building, and they kind of pan to the roof and you see a shadow walking on the roof, really quick detail. And the guy is like happy, but there's all these other like kind of mercenary looking guys around, and like these high level, almost like Secret Service level guys walking around all like fast and like looks like important people. And they cut to these important people like up on a level, and it just like starts focusing like on the wall real quick. And I wanted to see your reaction to this part because it scared the crap out of me. I both jumped.
We both jumped.
I jumped hard, and
very hard. Same.
From the Winter Soldier arm punching through that wall. I mean, how long have I needed to see Winter Soldier arm do something? Because like, look, back in Captain America Civil War was the last time I think we've seen that arm do some cool stuff.
Absolutely.
Right? So many cool Winter Soldier moments in that movie. Bucky moments, I guess we start calling them.
Yeah.
It was back and forth in that movie. But then he goes to Wakanda and he loses his arm. He goes to Wakanda, he gets a new arm, and he doesn't use that new arm. So here we see him just start kicking butt. Is he shooting with a gun? Yes, but he's also throwing knives.
I miss this Winter Soldier, the Terminator.
Yeah.
I like that he's a good guy now, because then we don't have to worry about killing him off. But
right.
I miss the
through the wall
end of him.
Yeah.
You know?
He busts through the wall looking like my favorite Winter Soldier look. He's got the mask, obeying COVID protocol. He's no, but he comes through with the mask. He doesn't have the goggles on, but he's got the long hair, his old Winter Soldier suit when he looked his like optimal badass self. So, and by the way, like one of my favorite music themes is going. That Winter Soldier theme is blasting. It's just a drone sound, like a droning sound with like hard percussion.
Yeah, there's like a hard like when you first like when he's first introduced. Like anytime
I used to listen to that working out.
I was gonna say, remember after we saw that, we would just have it on playing in the house too. I think at times.
Oh my god!
Get going, workout music.
It's sweet. It's like a sweet theme, and it's like one of the themes that it's his theme. That is the Winter Soldier theme. I don't know if it's the Bucky theme.
I don't know if it's Bucky has. I hope he's not evil, but he gets a moment where he just kicks ass and he gets his Winter Soldier theme.
It's like a very evil, dooming theme, though. And I'll mention again where we hear it again in the episode, and I'll talk about that a little later. But he comes through, and he is just kicking so much awesome butt. He's using the arm. He's throwing. Also, like knife work is something that seems to be forgotten in him. He was like so skilled with a knife. And by the way, Sebastian Stan back in the Winter Soldier like just practiced with a knife all the time. And I don't know if they intended to use all that, but I think he just got like so good with it, and they ended up having some like amazing knife battle parts. And then we kind of lose that. We don't really see that for a while. So to see him throwing some knives was cool.
We talk in Endgame. He's present, but he didn't really do anything that cool. He was really just shooting a gun and standing.
He just shot at his gum.
Or not Endgame, like Infinity War.
Infinity War, right?
Did we even see him in Endgame? Did he run out in the charge? I'm trying to even think now. I don't know if I even saw him.
He must have, but like
we have to look back at that.
But again, I mean, Infinity War. It seemed like he had worked out his demons, by the way, which we'll get to that in a second. But back in this scene with like Winter Soldier, like with so I already knew it was a flashback or something. Oh, yeah.
As soon as I saw him,
right? Obviously with the old arm, right? And he goes to like one of the last mercenary guys, and he takes him with his arm, and he's like choking him, and he says "Hail Hydra" before he kills him.
Yeah, he does.
And it's just like shit. And then like that nice Asian guy is like trying to get into this room with a key, but he's like scared.
Oh my god, that
so
was
scared.
Such a good scene, though, how they did that. Just like frozen in place, like trying to find the keyhole. Just so freaking scared. Like I would be so freaking scared.
Horror. This is like Michael Myers horror movie right here, because Winter Soldier's just like looking at him, and he just walks over, and and this guy is like, so he looks so innocent. I mean, I don't know who he was working for here, but he didn't look like he was one of the bad mercenary guys, right?
He was a
He was
witness.
even wearing like a different color, and he might have been working for them though. I think he was working for them like as a consultant or something.
Maybe.
But Winter Soldier, like the guy's like, please, I'm sorry, please, and he just puts the gun up, and you just hear the gunshot, and Bucky wakes up on the floor in his apartment or something, and I think there's a line Sam said it back in one of the movies.
Just
maybe
say. He was talking to Cap after in the Winter Soldier after Cap was on his left a bunch of times, and after they get done running, and he says as he's walking away, he must read something in Steve that says like he's feeling out of place.
Yeah,
like it's the beds, isn't it? It's like it's so soft, it feels like they're gonna melt to the floor. Because they had to sleep on the ground when they were on tour, on duty and stuff. So, and that's what we see here with Bucky here, still living like an assassin, right?
Yeah.
Even though he's not, and even though he's done, right?
Right.
And that's what I love about this episode too, is that, like I said, I was real worried it was going to be like a buddy cop thing the whole time.
Right.
When you see the trailer, I was just like I get it. They're different. Like we're calling back to the old like 90s buddy cop movie. There's a straight guy and a funny guy, and but I don't want it to be that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I am excited to see their dynamic when they get together,
because they're both.
I think they have a good dynamic. Yeah, they did in Civil War. They had a fantastic dynamic that was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. But I like that we were getting something serious though too, like how in Winter Soldier it still took itself serious, and that there's a lot of this, the theme of like trauma too after war, trying to get money
trauma
after as a soldier, trying to get financially stable, trying to adjust to civilian life, and
totally, and the kind of the extra trauma of like Bucky probably has, because like Bucky, was the kind back in World War II he'd be the first to put his life on the line for his country.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he has like another layer of trauma that he worked for the opposite side. He wasn't in control, but it's just another level that he killed a lot of innocent people.
He was in the sunken place, man.
He was in the sunken place
90 years, essentially, right?
So he's got a lot of stuff, a lot of layers to peel back.
And that's what we cut to him in therapy then.
Mm-hmm.
And the therapist is basically just getting sassy with him here.
Yeah, and he's like not giving her anything at first.
Yeah. She's like, I can tell you had a nightmare. And he's like, nope, no nightmares. Nope.
She's like, why are you lying? Why are you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And it starts going in like on really weird close images from like above on both of their like eyes and nose. Like it's very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
And I think that added something to the scene. I like that choice that the director took there.
I think I saw someone else saying that was saying that it was so close up on him because it was only then showing you part of him, which is all he's doing with her. He's only showing part of himself.
And is she only showing part of herself too? Because it was doing to her. And I think she reveals something about herself that she was
a soldier too at one point.
She was a soldier too. So maybe they're kind of both. There's a symbol for both. That's a good analogy. That one.
And I really like that too. And you see like in the background, there's like these trees behind him. And again, like sometimes like his head is like low in the shot too. Like he's not even like the center of the frame.
Yeah. We also learned that, he was given a pardon.
Yeah.
She says that to him. So if you look in the museum and if you like zoom in and read on like the Bucky Barnes part in the museum, it kind of goes through. Actually, that museum is a great recap of all the Captain America movies and the Avenger movies, by the way.
Yeah.
It pretty much goes through all of them, like the Sokovia Accords and everything. But it says that it says like his whereabouts are currently unknown and he is considered a fugitive. So I think since that, display has been put up, he's been pardoned and he's no longer a fugitive.
Yeah. But I think this is like part of his conditions though, is that he has to get therapy.
He's get therapy and
he can clearly tell he doesn't want it.
And he has to make amends.
And it's really cool too. He brings up that kind of like how what we've thought too. And I remember too in Black Panther, right? Like they were fixing him up, right? That's why he went there.
Yeah.
But then as soon as Infinity War rolled around, Black Panther comes down with a new arm, and he's just like, oh, shit, like, like
I know.
I have to fight. Like I
Well,
thought I was here for some therapy, guys.
I know, but he was so much more tame fighting after that,
Mm.
and I thought like maybe that's why he's shooting the gun more instead of going savage with that arm. And when the therapy started and it started getting going, I kind of wondered, I was like, so I thought he got all his demons out in Wakanda. You know, I thought they kind of healed him from all that, but apparently not.
He even says like,
again, it's so deep, the layers.
Like I had 90 years of war and like I had 1 year of peace in Wakanda.
Yeah, they even addressed that. Like right after I thought that, they addressed it. You know, yeah, he says that. Yeah.
Well, I think he's no longer able to be controlled by like code words. Is like what they did there. Is what I think.
I think you're right.
But I think the trauma itself, though, is still there with him. That
totally.
He has to
and again, that's so deep, and who knows if you can even heal from that completely. And, you know, that goes into real life veterans and, you know, retired military.
It was so cool because it was taking it so seriously and stuff, you know what I mean? While still being, you know, had that badass action in the beginning with Falcon. But anyway, though, you were bringing up, though, his list of amends, right?
So she's like, yeah. So one of I think the conditions is he has a list of people he has to make amends with. And she's like, did you follow the first rule? And this is a pretty cool kind of montage sequence they do. And they kind of talk about the rules. And she's like, don't break the law. And he said, yes. And it cuts to what he's doing. And it shows like two people in a car. And they even tell who the person is. It's somebody I think that used to work for Hydra.
Yeah, exactly.
And
someone he helped as Winter Soldier get into power who was working for Hydra, though. She's a Hydra
clearly
puppet.
Still doing something sketchy in that car.
Mm-hmm.
She's talking about like offing somebody with like a hitman or something. And it shows him with like a remote control after she says like, you know, don't break the law is the first rule. And he's like, yeah, I followed that rule. He hits something that locks their doors and he's like working the car around like it's like a remote control, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Because it also showed him putting something under the car before.
Yeah, so it was like something to control the car then through, so he could go like the old, what are those CRVs or something like that? The RCVs, I forget what they were called. Remote controlled car. So yeah,
and he's whipping them around like crazy, and they're freaking out in the car.
And she's like,
and it's like, okay,
the second rule: don't hurt anyone.
Don't hurt anybody. And
that's
he just
a big
like knocks. Yeah.
And he's like,
he knocks on the window and he's like, yeah, I followed that rule. And
she's like, are you sure it's a big one? And he's like, well, why isn't that the first one then? And I was like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And right after that, he says, yes. He like knocks on the window and he just punches the guy in the face, like with a gun or something.
Yeah.
And then like, it's like, did you follow the final rule? And she doesn't say what it is. And he's like, yes. And this was the only rule he actually did follow. And I thought he was totally going to be like, you know, I thought the rule was going to be like, don't kill anybody or something. And I thought he was going to get in there and just like totally wreck this woman up.
Just,
you know?
Winter Soldier, like Stark's mom, just strangle her.
No, but it was even like, it was like a twist what he did. And he's like, you know, hi, I'm Bucky or something. Like,
you're part of my amends.
You're part of my amends. And he just gives a speech to her, like a scripted thing.
Yeah.
That like, you know, like something like.
She recognized him though too. Too is the thing.
She definitely. And she
I think you recognize me. I'm Bucky. I'm here to make amends. It's part of my rehab program or something like.
And then right after he says that, like the people, the cops rolling. So obviously Bucky's working with the cops a little bit here. Or at least, you know, he tipped them off to this situation and she gets arrested. And so he kind of, you know, he doesn't kill her like Winter Soldier probably would have. But it was a pretty good twist there.
I really like that scene with him in that. And then it cuts to, I don't know if it's right here now, but it does go back to staying on Bucky here. He's in a restaurant then, and he's got this older man.
He meets a guy in the alley. The older man's in the alley, and there's like an issue with the garbage, and he's like, don't put your garbage in my trash can. And he kind of comes in and diffuses the situation. I don't know if there's a point to the alley going back to when he stood up for Captain America in an alley back in the first Captain America movie, maybe.
Yeah, what if he picked up a trash can lid
there.
and just started using it as a shield on the guy and just just beat him? But yeah,
I should have had the shield. He should have given me the shield.
Ah!
Yeah.
It's pretty cool though. You know, I mean, it's clear that he knows this guy though, the older man.
Yeah, and he's like, we're supposed to get lunch today. I totally thought at first that when they're sitting at the bar and they're looking at like the obituaries, and he's like, nobody passed 90 this week. And I'm thinking, well, Bucky, they already said is like 100 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe he's just hanging out with like old people because those are the people like he has connections with. They grew up with the same things. And that was my original thought. That was my original thought.
Part of it though. I think that's part of why they're together though. I think that's why they're able to relate with each other. But it took me a little bit though, but as soon as the old man said something like, my son was a whatever.
Well, he sees like some food, and he's like, my son used to love that food. You know, and he goes and he's like, he's like, he went off to consult with somewhere.
That's right.
And I wish I could know what happened to him.
And as soon as he said that, I was just like, this guy was probably someone that he met on his amends list, wanted to tell him, but ended up bonding with him and actually liking his company. And we heard when he was talking with the therapist that he doesn't have any friends. He's not communicating with Sam. He's not communicating with anyone else.
Right.
So he's isolating himself.
Sam's been like texting him. Sam's been like trying to get a hold of him. So that's interesting too. But anyway, as soon as that guy says, I just wish I knew what happened to my son, and he's sad, it cuts to Bucky like looking kind of distraught, and he closes his eyes, and you hear the Winter Soldier theme again.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So that also is just what told me, is like, I bet it was that guy.
Yeah.
In that thing, that Asian guy there, because also the guy like hooks him up with a date.
Yeah, I know. Girl's like, hell yeah, I'll date Sebastian Stan. I mean,
yeah. Who wouldn't?
The Winter Soldier. I mean, yeah, the Winter Soldier. Yeah, but he's got his hair cut now. He's looking clean, right? He's looking clean.
He's clean.
He still looks sad, right? He looks a little sad.
He still has like an edge to him. Like, I was a little worried that with the haircut he wasn't going to look as badass as he did in that flashback scene and like his original Winter Soldier look. But I feel like he could still look pretty cool. We'll wait till he gets some more action. But
wolf in him. I want the
know
bite. I want something
the
else.
White Wolf. I need that White Wolf that they talked about, because I haven't seen that White Wolf yet.
In Black Panther, they said he was a White Wolf. So
he's got So anyway, and let's cut back to Sam here. Sam goes and walks onto this dock, and you hear these little kids say, Uncle Sam. And he meets who we assume is his sister, right? It's his sister. And she's like running this old family business with this ship that, like, I guess has been in their family for generations.
Yeah, the old Bubba Gump shrimping.
That's what I thought. That's definitely what I thought. And the sister is like talking about, since the blip, it's been hard times. We got to sell the ship. And Sam is like, no. This ship has been in our family. Like, we got to find another way. Like, we can do this. And later on, it takes some convincing, and she's kind of like, why are you even getting involved? Like, you went off, you did your own thing. Like, this is kind of my part of the deal. Like, I get the family business, and like, it's like, you want to help us out now? And he's like, he's pretty much saying, let me use my celebrity status to like save this.
Yeah. And
I think I can do this.
They go to a bank then to try and get a loan, I was just like, you're a superhero and you're getting a loan? Like,
so this made me think a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Because we never think, like, except for in The Boys, it was like the first time I've ever thought about superhero as a job, where it's corporate and it's a job. I never thought in Avengers, like, how much money do they actually make? Like, how do they, I just assumed like they just gave them stuff. The government just gave them whatever they wanted.
Yeah. I do think that, like, Cap was working for the government, right? He was working for the U.S. government, so right. I'm sure they were paying him something.
They had to.
And I think also too in the comics, Tony Stark does sort of pay the Avengers, and it seems like in the movies too, he's been giving them, like, he's the one that normally pays for the upgrades for them and stuff like that too. So and they all seem like they live pretty simple.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Hawkeye lives out in the country with his family, and But then it raises a question: are guys like Hawkeye and War Machine and Falcon on like minor league contracts, while Cap and
They're in
and
the they're in the
Thor on,
MLB.
like, yeah, they're getting like 30 mil a year, just negotiating their contracts. But no, so this,
But yeah, the money question. The guy even asked. The banker was like, "How does it work?" Like this.
He's like, yeah.
He's like, "No, it doesn't work like that. People are generous, you know." Like,
yeah,
but it
like,
still kind of got like a non. It was like a non-answer though, still. But he did say like, "I have government contracts, right?" Like,
exactly. And he's getting like the guy at first was taking selfies, and Sam was definitely trying to milk it.
mm-hmm. He's like, "Yeah, yeah,"
to try to get this loan. And the guy is kind of like, "Look, like I can't really give you a loan because you haven't made an income in 5 years." And she's like, how can someone make an income when they don't exist? Because she was blipped, you know?
Snapped. She was snapped, Colby. She was snapped.
Yeah. Sorry. She was snapped. I just
That's
went
the
against
technical term is the blip. I still want to call snap, man. The snap.
She was snapped. Again, I think she was snapped out of existence. I think the blip is more the term for the 5 years. The snap is the action that caused it.
It's like
the blip is the 5 year.
But Marvel is calling it the blip, which I don't like. I don't like it.
So then you think about all the problems it's caused. Like people can't get loans now because banks like apparently aren't making. Again, this is like also super soon after. This is like within a year after the blip. Everybody comes back from the blip.
So it would be crazy too to have all these institutions in place set for billions of people, and then all of a sudden half of it is gone. Right, half of the population is billions of people left, and then billions of people returned in that.
Like those 5 years. How can we give the banks give you money if, like, you know, from a bank point of view, it's like you haven't made money in 5 years, like even though you just didn't exist, like.
And that's when Falcon's just like, all right, no more. Like, no, I'm not posing with you with the sleeves off and things like. No.
Yeah, and they go out, and Falcon doesn't want to give up, and she's just like, I gotta sell the boat, you know.
Also, then they at some point, I don't know where it is. Torres, you know, when he was first seeing Sam,
it's a cool scene.
He showed like I don't know what it is. Apparently, it's a real thing though, where you like hold up the camera and you see like an organization mark on something, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And this
is red hand.
Yeah, and it's this organization that apparently wants things back the way they were during the blip.
By the way, Sam had a very interesting line here. He said, "Yeah, well, when things get better for one group of people, it usually gets worse for another group of people," which is, I totally think it was a line to represent what's going on in the world.
Yeah,
you know, and what has gone on in the world with Black people. I think there's going to be some messages in the show, which should, you know, there definitely should be regarding that stuff. I don't want it to get too political, but
it wasn't
I think
too heavy-handed, though. I don't think. I don't think it was, but it was something that kind of made you think, though, which is something I like about some of my favorite shows and movies. Is that something that makes you think, but it doesn't pull you out of it.
Right.
Unlike the scene in Endgame, which pulled me straight out of the movie.
Right.
You know, but anyway, though, they cut to Torres. He's, you know, using that tag, and he finds like this meeting where this group of people are, and then all of a sudden, like, they hand out all these masks, and people start running around, and this guy jumps out of
whistle
like
blew,
like a second-story building. So, like, with clearly superhero dude here, like superpowers, right?
Yeah. He's wearing the mask.
And
he like hands the bags off to like two other people working for them. There's just all this confusion going on. Like the guards of this place are trying to stop what's happening, but like they can only do so much. And Torres is chasing after this guy.
And he puts a gun up to him, and the guy just again too. You see this guy jumps out of second-story building. You have a ranged weapon, and you get within arm's reach of him. No way, man! You got to stay back. Because, like, as soon as he gets an arm's reach, superhero just suplex, bam, just bangs him into the ground and just stomps on his face, too. Oh, after I
think he either punched or kicked somebody into a building and they went flying. It was very obvious.
Well, yeah.
He has something. Like
it's like Captain America level strength here, right?
Yeah. So, Torres gets messed up. He gets, like, stomped. And I was, like, wondering, did he die? I was like, he got kicked so hard, but no, he
It
just
was
got
cool
his
though too, like how
orbital
they
broken.
instantly showed like his like face, like the damage to
Yeah.
it. Like because normally in superhero movies, like you kick someone, you punch someone, they're just like knocked out. But like his face
Yeah.
got wrecked with this stomp.
He
I
was
mean,
recording. He was like recording the whole thing on his camera phone.
yeah, he records everything.
His iPhone. I sound like a old man there.
Recorder
Those
phone,
are old camera phones you guys
camera
got.
phone, a telephone with a camera in it.
So I think we'll learn more about this. They're gonna. He ends up calling Sam later and talking to him about it, and
Yeah, he's like,
you don't think this guy was, and Sam cuts him off. I thought he was just saying like superhero serum, like that's how I thought he was going to say, but maybe there's more to that.
I was wondering if he was inferring Bucky, if he was wondering if he was the Winter Soldier there. Because when I first saw it, I was like, is he inferring that that's Winter Soldier? Maybe that's how they sort of reconnect.
Yeah.
But so anyway,
that's a
though,
great point.
Like how I was saying earlier with the guy who becomes Captain America, that guy probably has some sort of super strength, right? That's probably why they made him Captain America. Like you'd have to be, right? Like you couldn't just be a normal guy and expect it
unless they just have him for like photo ops or something.
Maybe I'm thinking no, he has super.
Yeah.
And so that would connect. Clearly, these people have some sort of super soldier level strength going on, and now all of a sudden we got a Captain America too, like probably has super soldier strength and stuff going on. So what if they're all connected here, right?
Yeah.
What if this group and this new Captain America are like somehow serving the same agenda? And that's one thing too, that even though Captain America, he's covered in the flag and he's all star and spangly going on, and he's Captain America, his name is Captain America, you would think he would side with America and whatever their leaders would say all the time, but he was never like that, right? He would disobey orders and he'd go save guys. He would and then like in Civil War, like that was what he was doing the whole time. He was disobeying what they want to do, the Sokovia Accords. He was being hunted by that the general or whoever that came into place, the guy from Hulk, I can't remember his name. But so like Cap was also a rebel though, because he was standing up for the values and not necessarily the government. But this guy is going to stand up for the government and the agendas, right? So like, these people might be serving the same agenda. You know what I mean? Whatever that is yet, don't know. But
so we'll find out.
I'm thinking they're connected though.
I think you're right. And that was an exciting part of the show there. So let's cut back then to Bucky. He was on that date with the bartender and he brought her flowers all sweet and stuff. And they're playing a game and she's, they're being nice and stuff. And she kind of brings back up the old man.
She just ruins it. She just ruins the date. She's just like, how terrible is that? It's so terrible. Terrible, 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 terrible. It's someone
and he runs out. He's like, I'm sorry. No, but it just makes him leave. It like makes him want to. She's like, if he just knew what happened, it would give him so much closure and, in his life and it would be so good for him. And Bucky wants to tell him. He wants to do this. He wants to make amends, right? It's part of he's on his list. And he just leaves the day. He's like, I'm sorry, I got to go. And he goes right to the guy's apartment. Now, he's not 100% sure that the guy he killed in the dream he had was the guy's son until the guy opens the door and he looks inside and he sees the picture of the son.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess he probably was sure. I'm sorry. Yeah, he probably was sure.
I think he was sure because
that's why he would have been hanging out with him anyway.
Yeah, I think that's how he first connected with him. But I think the picture, though, is what threw him off from telling him because, he sees how much this guy values his son and how much he misses him and how important it is to him. And that probably telling him this would ruin this friendship, this one friendship that he has. Right. You know what I mean? That he's maintaining.
Yeah, so he kind of is like, what did he say to him? He made it up in an excuse.
He's like, the date, I just wanted to pay you back for dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's clear that the old man didn't believe him there. He's just like, that was strange. You would come up here at midnight on your date,
Right. Exactly. And then,
and that's what we said. Then it ends with the G-Man Cap coming out. And Yeah, I really liked it though. I mean, I like I said, a lot of similar themes and just style of the show to Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which I think is intentional because they're both characters that we saw in that movie, and that movie was, like I said, I think pretty much agreed upon by fans as probably the best standalone.
Yeah,
I think most would say that, if not the best from Marvel. So I really liked it. I enjoyed it, and I was ready for the next one, and I was kind of hoping there was another one, but there wasn't. And I was just like,
sometimes they release two at the
That's what, because like WandaVision, after I saw that the first one, I was just like, I don't know if I want to keep going. I was like, well, they got a second one, maybe it'll hook me. It didn't really, but but this one,
like I would say I'm hooked, but it's not like the kind of hook like the middle of WandaVision episodes up until the end that like made me like just shake with excitement for the new one. You know, like I can wait till Friday to get this next one. I'm sure it's going to get to a point with this show where I like can't wait.
Yeah, I think it is.
But I like, they did have to do a lot of setup, I think, in this first episode. And it was good setup. I like how they did it. I like, again, Bucky to me was more captivating. And I think that's just my bias to him being like my favorite character since Winter Soldier. But at the
what
same
were
time,
you doing
I
when he jumped out of the wall and the Winter Soldier music playing? What were you
told
doing?
you, it scared the crap
but
out
after
of me.
that, I just like,
And
I was,
got
as soon as I was
pumped.
watching
oh my
it,
God. I was like on the edge of my seat and I was like, yes, I've like just taken it all in. Like, I mean, I don't like, sometimes like I don't really realize what I'm doing when those moments happen. But I remember like going like, yes, knife throw, get those knives. So I'm excited to see more of that. I kind of hope that he has more nightmares because I want to see more flashback Winter Soldier.
I hope they give him a good Winter Soldier scene where he just gets, even as Bucky, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Maybe something big happens. Maybe he wants to he's got to rescue Sam, and he just like lets the teeth out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I hope we get something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So I'm excited to watch more and cover it. It was definitely gave us a lot to talk about in one episode. And I say that about, I'm biased toward Winter Soldier because he was my favorite, but I actually feel a lot closer to Sam after this episode. I feel a little bit more connected with him than I did previously.
Oh yeah.
Sam is such a stand-up guy. He is such he just does the right thing. It seems like all the time.
He does have like a Captain America sort of value system in him.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. And there's even like a shot of him standing, looking at the mirror or looking at the shield with his reflection in it. Which, we saw Captain America do in his first movie before he had the serum, he like looked into that like mirror that like you could see your face in the shoulder of the soldier body. So, that kind of thing.
But he was too short to see.
He was too short. You could just like see his eyes in the neck hole there.
Yeah, but it's the same thing for Sam here. Like it doesn't look
like
right
he falls
on him
short.
To him.
Yeah.
Damn.
But again, you saw his
good job directing that, man. Good job.
Yeah. Seriously. So cool episode. It's going to be a cool show. Obviously, very different kind of feel compared to WandaVision. But you're right. It kind of goes back to that Winter Soldier style, which I love. I think there wasn't a ton of like comedy in it. There was a little bit. I would say like the most comedy we got was when they're doing that montage with Winter Soldier with Bucky saying like, yes, I followed that rule, and he didn't.
Yeah, but it felt natural, and it felt
natural.
The scene didn't suffer. The seriousness of the scene and what the message,
right.
The message and the information they were conveying didn't get lost.
I like that it showed that he hasn't gone completely goody two shoes with this therapy and with what happened in Wakanda. Like he'll still break the rules.
Yeah,
he's still a badass, which was kind of something I was afraid of. Like, did he lose his edge completely in Wakanda and like he's not gonna be cool anymore? But no, he seems like he'll still break the rules. So that was episode 1. We really, we enjoyed it. I think it's got a lot of potential. The show has got a lot of potential. Can't wait to see where it goes. But let us know what you thought of it in the comments, and we'll check them out. But do you have any final thoughts, Steve?
No. It's just what we always say, you know.
Yeah.
A goodbye.
Goodbye.